My name is Melinda Hart. You are watching Stamping with Hart. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. And today I have this super cute treat bag with scalloped edging. It's a pretty good size. Hopefully that you can see here. It is enough to fit a 6-pack of chocolates. Okay, so it's pretty durable actually. So I'm going to show you guys how to make this treat bag today. And this was inspired on some projects that I made the day of my catalog launch, the Stampin' Up annual catalog launch. So let me go ahead and do the things first. Just tell you where to go. So you can find me at stampingwithhart.blogspot.com. I want to be sure, if you haven't already, that you join my email list. My email list is the first place that I share everything about what I'm doing, give people a heads up when I'm going live. I'm recording a video showing how to make this card. I'm like halfway through it, and I decided to do a coordinating treat bag too. So this video will be posted on YouTube later this week, and this is what we're going to be making today. So this is a sheet of the 12 by 12 basic white, and what I am going to do is cut this down to 8. So it'll be 8 by 12. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to actually score it. So I'm going to go to the 6-inch mark and I'm going to score. So let me just get my cutter out of the way here. All right, so let me see if you guys can see that score line or not. I know that's probably not, the basic white is the hardest to work with when you're on screen. But this, under the score line here, you guys can see that, is going to be where our bottom, the treat bag bottom is going to be. So we'll work that in a minute. But we're going to be putting in score lines and everything. But the first thing I want to do, if you are going to do like if you're going to do a pattern like stamping, in addition to your designer series paper, then you'll want to do your stamping first. I didn't. I kept it pretty clean, pretty basic. But I am going to cut in the scallop next. So I'm just going to get my die cutting machine out. It might be a little bit close, but as long as you can see the die cutting, then that's what I want you to see. So this is the die that we're going to be using. So let me just, this is the Color and Contour bundle. I think it's called Color and Contour. Yes, Color and Contour bundle. Okay, so it's from the Scalloped Contour dies. It's this die right here, and looks like this. So it can either cut into paper or it can cut an edge on paper. Now, one of the reasons why I scored this at 6 inches is because we're going to fold it to fit it through the die cutting machine. So if I went any higher than that, it wouldn't actually fit through the machine. So it's kind of a little cheat if you want that scalloped edge treat box. And of course, if you could always cut a separate piece and glue it on or add it to the edges of your treat bag or treat box if you don't want to do it like this, but this is the way that I did it. So I definitely recommend having better plates, one that's not bowed like mine is, but we're just going to make the most of it. It'll still cut. I need to order new plates. Last time I checked, they were still on back order. Okay, so what we're going to do here, I'm going to just line this up. I'm going to put, I don't like having my my paper go right to the edge. So I kind of pull it back a little bit. It's going to be on the far edge here. We're just going to take this die and we're going to line it up. Now, you definitely might want to take some washi tape and tape it down if you don't want to have this problem of it wiggling around. Okay. That looks good. So I'm just going to feed that through. And I'm just going to hold on to it so that it doesn't wiggle. Okay. All right. And then we're just going to repeat that same exact thing for the second half of the treat bag. And I will just let you know, because of the way that the treat bag is, it's okay if you don't have this little edge finished at the very end here. Okay, so let me just trim off this little excess piece and we'll get rid of this little edge a little bit later. Now you can kind of get a better idea of what the, how the treat box is building out. And we're going to go back to scoring it now. So this is where, after we're done scoring it, I'll take down those measurements. All right, so there's 1. We go with 2. Go to 5 3/4. And now 6 3/4. 7 3/4. And 11. I want this piece. What I'm going to do, and I'll give you the actual measurement, but what I'm going to do here is make sure that this goes to this score line here, hits that 3 3/4 inch mark. And so that is 11.5 inches. So basically the 2 inch block, cut, 3 3/4 inch block, cut, then the next 2 inch mark, and then here we have our little tab on the end. Now I'm going to just trim these down. So and then I'm going to miter that in. So that's like cutting about the half of these little tabs off here at the 2 inch ones. And then for this one, not as deep, go about 1/4 so that we have some stability for our treat bag. And then we'll do some layering. That looks pretty good. Let's do the half again for the little guy. And you could do this on your paper trimmer too if you want. Okay. Those pieces, yeah, that's not 100% even, but that's okay. And then same thing, I'm gonna go just a little bit. Don't need a lot on this one. Our bigger tabs can be longer. All right. And then let's see how this comes together. And then I just want to see how the bottom does. Because this is where it went wrong last time. And that's it. Okay, cool. I got the measurements right. I will run this through the die cutting machine. I will have to tape it just because I have my score lines in here, but it's the same exact thing. So we'll cut here and here. So let me just show you guys the other products that I'm using today. So we're going to be using the Color and Contour stamp set. We're going to go for our flower again. So let me just bring my treat box back in here. So we're going to be using the Stamp Flower Outline. It's going to be the same concept as the other card I made the other day. And then we're going to die cut a piece of the Evening Evergreen to get the stem of the flower. I'm going to color it with some Stampin' blends. And then we're going to use this die here. It'll be the third largest in the Scalloped Contours. And the paper is from the Pansy Petals Designer Series paper. So I went with the Fresh Freesia Gingham. 2 pieces at 3 3/4, if I did this right, by 5. And we'll see if this matches up on our treat bag the right way. All right. So this is a piece of the Fresh Freesia with the scalloped rectangle. I'm just going to die cut this piece here to get our stem. All right, so we have these 2 pieces here. Now I'm going to stamp my flower and then we'll die cut that piece really quickly. So I've been using the Memento Tuxedo Black ink because I've been coloring my flower with the Stampin' blends. And the Memento has a really nice bold look to the outline flower stamp. But if you don't want to do that, it's totally fine. You can also use the fill stamp. So it's a 2-step stamp and you could just use your fill stamp with your ink. I like to give myself reasons to use the Stampin' blend. These 2 notches go on the incomplete petals. So I'm just going to line this up until that fits. And that's looking pretty good. Let's just tuck that in a little bit more. There we go. So I'm going to use my Stampin' blend, the light. So it is the Fresh Freesia Light. Not going to do any specialty color in here. And then I'm going to use Daffodil Delight for the middle of the flower. The So Happy For You comment that comes with this, so very happy for you. It kind of covers a lot of different topics. So you're absolutely amazing, which is what's on the gift bag there if you need to celebrate somebody. If you're doing, kind of a birthday thing. All right, here's my Daffodil Delight. Just going to kind of stay to the center. No blending today. And I think that this was 2 3/4 by 4. So let's do that. I don't know if this is long enough. We'll see. 2 3/4. I want to be able to see the line. I'm going to go just under that black line there. By 4. Same thing, I want to be able to see the line. There we go. Looks like I'm just a little bit over. Trim just a little bit. So just a teeny tiny sliver and taken off. See if that looks better. I just want to be able to see those little dots, and I can see those there. So we're also going to be using the Fresh Freesia open weave ribbon. And we're going to be using the Genial Gems, and that is for the center of the flower, if you guys can see that. And again, I wanted it to kind of match the cards that I made. Oh, I forgot that I cut one of these. So we're going to cut just a little piece of the gingham, 1 inch by, was it 2 3/4, I think? I wanted to use the plus for my treat bag especially, so it has a little bit of a stronger adhesive to keep it together. And you could fit, you know, a pretty good sized gift in this little treat bag here. Just gonna line this up with the bottom scoring line, and my 2 side scoring lines. Now, if you would want to do paper all the way across, you would just need 1 by 5 inch. So you would need 1, 2, 3. You would need 4 of those. 4 strips at 1 by 5. So I did the ribbon in 2 parts here, where I tied the bow and I wrapped the piece around this. So let me do this part of it. So just over 1 inch. Just want to have some tail to wrap around there. And then I will tie my bow and then trim off of the ribbon here. So let me stamp my sentiment in Fresh Freesia. We're going to stamp the sentiment towards the top here. And then for this, I'm going to wrap my ribbon around. So I'm going to put some more of the Stampin' Sale Plus on the back to hold my ribbon. I'm going to wrap this around. Just going to kind of center it here on this piece. And then I'm going to take a little bit more of the adhesive. Just want to make sure that ribbon is down. We're going to do this on the lower portion. So let me just put the flower here. So right down here, like in that bottom quarter there, bottom third. Okay. So for the stem, I'm going to trim off the leaf here. And then this little notch, I'm just gonna cut like sideways. And I'm gonna take off this piece, just enough to have a tab. And then I'm gonna put some adhesive here. I'm gonna add my flower. And then what I ended up doing was like tucking it inside behind the ribbon here. So it's just kind of like tucked in there, but I'm gonna put some adhesive here on the back. Just wanna make sure that it stays put. So I'm just gonna tuck that in again. Just kind of center the flower. Okay. And then let me adhere this piece onto here before I get the bulky part of the ribbon on. That's one of the best parts about a treat bag with ribbon. You do not have to worry about an envelope. You don't have to worry about the bulk. It's just part of the super cute decoration. Okay, so I'm just gonna line it up right along with this rectangle here. Now we're going to tie our ribbon. So these are genial gems. I'm going to use 3 of the big ones. We're just going to make like a little triangle right here in the center of the flower. Okay. Yeah, I'm missing my adhesive. This is why you use the take your pick tool. Okay, let's put that up. This one. There we go. I love that. I just love the way that looks in the center of the flowers. I think that looks so pretty. Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate your patience too and hanging in there with me. And I'll get all the corrected information up for you. And I hope you enjoyed this project. I'll see you later.